Hello and welcome to my channel, Create with Lulu. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to paint watercolor roses and leaves. If you like these types of videos, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Okay, so first you're going to need your supplies, so grab some paintbrushes and some paint. I will be using my 48 Moon paint palette from Amazon. All those links will be in the description box below, so check it out if you want to get exactly what I have. Then I got some watercolor paper from Loft from Michaels, and I'm just going to spray my palette with some water just to warm up my paints. Grab your paper and your paintbrush and we will get started. So this first rose, I will be using a smaller size 4 brush for this, and so this is a more tight, intricate, like smaller type of rose versus in a little bit I'll show you with bigger brushes. So you're just going to make a bunch of C curves together and then you just keep making bigger ones. It's seriously that simple. I have been watercoloring for 3 years though, and I finally feel like I can do a rose every time I try. I'm still not perfect at it, but I can get some shape of a rose, so it does take lots of practice, but I believe in you. You can do it. Practice makes perfect. Just keep trying. So I will show you multiple times in this video how to do this. I'm just going to be mixing some colors and I'll go step by step on how to do it. So grab your paintbrush and your paint and let's get started. Here I'm using a size 6 Princeton snap brush, and I'm just going to do the same thing, a bunch of little swerves and curves in the middle there. Then grab your water and keep washing out your curved lines to make it more loose. The looser you want your paintings to be, the more water you'll add. So you can just see me keep dragging the color out and just repeating the step. It's a very repetitive process, but you get the hang of it once you do multiple. So I would just do pages and pages of these and practice. I am not a professional at all, but I really enjoy it and I think you will too. If you sit down, just try it. Just get your paintbrush to the paper with some paint. You got this. You can get some cheap paints from like Walmart or Amazon for like $7. The Crayola ones are actually really good. I really like them, but these are my favorite one. I feel like they're like the middle range. I think they're around $45 on Amazon, but they're seriously like my favorite paints. I've tried higher quality ones and lower quality ones, and these are like my favorite, even more than the higher quality ones. So you can also drop some paint color in here and you can get a really cool blooming effect if your paint is still wet. But here I'm going to be using a size 10 brush. So this is just a Princeton brush. It's like blue. I got it from Michaels. I don't really remember how much it was. I want to say around $6. But it is, you can use the tip of it to get those small C curves in the middle and lines, but you can also drag the big belly of the brush to get really big loose florals, which I love so much. So this one is really cool for that. And I'm just going to be covering this whole entire page with roses. It is such good practice just to do the same thing over and over again. You will get so much better at it. Just set your timer for like 10 minutes and just say, I'm gonna watercolor for 10 minutes and do it, and you will see progress. And I love mixing and layering different colors of different roses on top of each other. So you'll see in a minute here, when I come back, when these ones are dry, I can layer even darker colors to get a really cool effect. And I also learned a lot about watercoloring from Lefebvre, so I will link her channel down below. She is an amazing watercolor teacher and she's like one of my favorite channels, along with Shayda Campbell. So I will link her down below as well because they are like some of the best watercolor teachers. So I will definitely have their channels linked down below and in the cards, so check them out. I learned so much just from watching their videos, and honestly, you can learn a lot just by watching videos, and like listening to people teach and watching them teach will help a lot too. So I definitely recommend spending some time watching some videos or just turn some videos on while you're watercoloring, and that can really help as well. If you really want to learn, you totally can. Never give up. And I will link my watercolor playlist down below, so definitely check that out if you want some more watercolor ideas and tips. And I'll link them in the cards. I'll link them everywhere, so just check out the description box if you want to learn some more. And also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, because I have lots more watercoloring tips and ideas and learning videos coming out soon. So keep your eye out and hit the notification bell so you don't miss them. I really appreciate that too. and I love inspiring you guys to get creative and learn something new. So you guys, if you have any video ideas, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will try and do them if I can. But I believe you and we can do anything that we put our minds to, so hopefully I could learn how to do whatever you guys put in the comments. That could be a fun challenge. I could have to try and do what you guys told me to do in the comments. Should we do that type of video? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of me painting this. I'll speed it up a little bit so you don't have to watch me forever, but it will help you. But stick around for the rest of the video because I will be sharing a lot more tips and tricks. Okay, hopefully you learned how to watercolor some roses. If not, go try it. I believe in you. Now we are moving on to painting some leaves. So stick around for this part because you're not going to want to miss it. Leaves are my favorite thing to paint. Okay, now we are moving on to leaves. So grab your green color and we'll get started. For this first one, you're just gonna drag your brush to make a thinner line and then drag the belly of the brush with 2 lines side by side to kind of make a leaf shape. I'm using my size 10 Princeton brush here again. And the great thing about doing leaves is no leaf is the same. So you can't really mess them up. If you call it a leaf, it's a leaf. And they're not that hard. You just gotta practice, get your paintbrush to the paper, and don't give up. So just keep making these leaves, and you're just going to use the belly of the brush to drag it. This one's another light line for the center, and then you're just going to use the small tip, the end of your brush, to make the leaves smaller and more detailed. And so I'm just going to repeat that step for this leaf, just kind of drag my brush into the middle and have the leaves meet together. For this next leaf, I'm trying to paint something a little bit more like eucalyptus. I still haven't 100% figured out how to paint eucalyptus in a way that I love, but it's really just circle shapes, not side by side though. You want to kind of alternate them so they look more natural. So that's like the more eucalyptus circle type looking one. And then for this next one, you're just going to drag your brush out to make these longer shapes that kind of alternate back and forth. And for this one, I'm using the tip and the belly of the brush. So the tip, I'm dragging out my stem using the belly of the brush to drag it out, and then bringing that tip of my brush back up to make it kind of skinnier towards the top. So I'm just going to repeat that for these leaves, and these ones are a little bit bigger, so I only have 5 on this like leaf stem. I'm just doing the same thing here to get in some practice, so you're just going to repeat the same steps, drag the belly of the brush, let the tip come up, and kind of pull it upwards to make it skinnier towards the top. And stay tuned to the very end of the video because I'm going to show you how to connect your leaves and roses together. Now this next leaf is more loose. I'm almost like squishing the belly of the brush for the leaf shape because I love how much looser it gives it, more of like a watercolor look, which I really like. And for this one, it's more of just a bunch of little tiny strokes with your brush side by side till you kind of make up a little clump of leaves. This would be a great filler for like a wreath or something, and I really like just sticking it in between some flowers. For this next one, it's like a longer version of that, and you kind of flick your brush out to kind of give them a little bit of a point on the end of your leaves. And then for this next one, it's kind of more big leaves, like I kind of picture them at the bottom of like tulips or something, and you just kind of wave the belly of your brush back and forth to kind of make those shapes. As you can see here, my brush is too dry, so I'm grabbing some more water and paint and I'm going back in and I'm making these really large leaves. These would be great in like a bouquet of flowers or in between some roses to take up space, a great space filler. And you're just dragging the belly of the brush, and having a big brush for this would really help. And this leaf I feel like looks a little bit more like a fern leaf, so you're just going to kind of drag your leaves closer together and kind of make them more clumped, and then you're just going to drag your belly of your brush out. And then for the next leaf, I feel like it looks a little bit more like a pine branch, so if you did it in a darker shade, it would probably look more realistic, but you're just going to use the very tip of your brush. You could use a really small brush for this and that would be great, but I'm just using my larger one, and you're just going to flick your brush out multiple times. And that is it for some watercolor leaf ideas. Now I'm going to show you how to mix your leaves and your florals together. So you're gonna do that same rose I showed you earlier, and I'm using my bigger brush here to get it nice and loose, and then I'm going to add some water and really drag out those edges to make it look like a very loose, natural floral. Then once you have done that, while it's still wet, your rose has to be wet for this, so don't get bummed at like your painting if it doesn't work, because if your paint's dry, then this won't work. But grab your green and you're going to dab it on your paper towel, because you don't want too much water, because the wrong ratio won't make it bloom and bleed like this, but it looks so cool. And yeah, you just kind of tap the rose, and then you can go ahead and make your big leaves with your paintbrush and just drag the belly of the brush. So I'm just going to keep on repeating those steps and cover this whole entire page with florals. And now I'm just finishing up that page, and then I'm going to do another one to just get some practice in, and I bet you can do it too. If you have found this video helpful so far or enjoyed it, please hit the like button. I would super duper appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe because lots more watercolor tutorials are coming soon. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Also, be sure to check out my other watercolor videos if you want some more ideas. Keep practicing.